Welcome to Drupal Over Easy. My name's Nigel. In this tutorial I'm going to be introducing you to the Leaflet Maps module, which is another Drupal Maps supported mapping module. What we're just going to do is just set up basic Leaflet Maps and just put some markers onto that map. Let me just show you what I mean. Okay, so we're just going to set up a map, and if you click on any of the markers you just get the title of the towns showing up. So that's all we're going to be achieving in this tutorial. So it's going to be a very straightforward, quick introduction. Okay, so as a prerequisite, I do say have a look at the geofield map tutorial I did. The reason for that is that introduces you to how to create modules with fields and content types, because I'm just going to be using the site that I use for the geofield map. I'm going to be using the same site just to create the leaflet map. And I always say Drupal 7 and views it's good to have that sort of experience before jumping into a tutorial such as this. Okay, modules you're going to require are going to be CTOR and views, of course, and we're going to be using the geocoded geofield PHP. Those of you who've been following these tutorials will be familiar with those modules. The new one's going to be the leaflet. You're going to need to install that. If you click on the link, that will take you to the, Drupal's module for that. You'll also need to download the leaflet JavaScript library for this module, and it does need to be copied and unzipped to your sites or libraries. And if we just jump across to the site here, here's where you'll download the leaflet library, and currently this version is released 17th of January 2013. So you will need to download that and extract it to your sites or libraries folder. Okay, and once you've installed those modules you can make a start. So I'm just going to go to my prototype site here. As I mentioned, I'm using the same site I used for the geofield maps tutorial. This is a refresher, that's the tutorial for that. So the first step I'm going to this is a refresher for anyone who did follow that tutorial. I'm just going to use the same content type, which is Aussie cities or Citizi, if you read my spelling mistakes. And if we go to manage fields, here's the actual content that I created for it, title, and the key thing here is the geofield field. For this tutorial you don't need to add the term reference here. We're only going to be using the geofield here, which in combination with the geocode is the way of getting our coordinates for our map that we want for our marker that we want to stick onto our map. Okay, and if we also look at the content that we created from the geofields map tutorial, and here's the content here, and if we show one of these, each one of these contents has got a geofield associated with it and a coordinate attached to that geofield, which is there. Okay, so to make a start, you'd normally, if you're going to start with a leaflet, you'd create the content type as I just showed you, and then it's a good idea to create some content. And then the next step, which is what we're going to do now, is to add a new view. Okay, I'm just going to call this, I'm just going to unclick the page here. For my Mac, it seems to automatically go in there as soon as I enter the view name. Okay, so for the view name, I'm just going to call this leaf odds and continue and edit. Okay, and I'm now going to add a page. Let's give that page a path. All pages need a path. Okay, let's just call it leaf odds and apply that. Next, my important steps are we're going to need to add our geofield to the field section here. It's a good idea if you create a geofield in your content type, you give it the name geofield. It's easy to remember. So I filtered down, here it is here, city geofield. Select that and apply it. Don't need the label, and double check that you've got well-known text for formatter and data options, and for data options you use the full geometry. Apply that. Okay, we've got a field now. If we scroll on down here, we can actually see our content. The important parts are we've actually got our coordinates here as well. Okay, and if you enabled all your modules that I referred to from here, so if you installed and downloaded all these modules, when you click on this view here, unformatted list, go to format, unformatted list. I'm just going to override that in case I had any other displays. So you should see Leaflet Map. So there it is there. Apply that display. And the first thing here in the data source, we want our geofield, which is what it's automatically selected. Okay, for title field, content title, straightforward. For description content, which is the pop-up box when you actually click on the marker, I'm just going to use title again. I've only got one map supplied by default. If you install other leaflet modules, you can get other maps as well, but that's probably a topic for another tutorial. And just clicking on the map icon here, I'm only going to use the standard supplied markers here, but as you can see, you can use the address here for your icon, and you can also add a shadow to that icon as well. Nice. And setting the sizes, and there's a few other settings if you want to scroll down at your own leisure of what you can actually set for your marker, for your icon. Okay, you can now apply that. Okay, you notice the previews disappeared. That's okay because we changed the format to the leaflet map there. Okay, I don't believe I need to make any more changes, so we can now save our view. Okay, now if we go into, this provide a little menu for our map. So go into menus, main menu, add a link. So I believe the path, I always forget this one, leaf_oz is the path I set in my view page's path. And for the title, we'll just call this Leaf Oz, just to separate it from the Oz map, because we are pinching a lot of data, the data from the geofield map tutorial. Right, you can now save that. Close this. Okay, my Leaf Odds menu is now appeared, and there it is now. So we've got a very similar map to the geofield maps here. We've now created one for LeafPad. So if you wanted to know how to get LeafPad initially set up and using views for Leaflet, you can also use formatters, but that's outside the scope of this tutorial. This is a very easy, very quick way of setting up markers on the Leaflet map. That's all for this one. Right, I'll just give you a slight plug for my own website, drupalovereasy.com. I believe it is the premier site for all things in regards to Drupal mapping. If you pop along to it, we've got this little Java box, Java scrolling box here, and if you click on Open Layers, it will take you to all the tutorials referring to Open Layers. And as you see, we've got a number of Open Layers tutorials here. It's quite vast. There's probably several hours worth of mapping tutorials, Open Layers tutorials on here to get a very good grasp of some more of the advanced concepts of using Drupal mapping. As well as being able to use mappings, you're going to get very good exposure to using Views 3, taxonomy terms, things like exposed filters, jump menus. There's actually a lot of configuration you'll get exposure to, which will help expand on your own Drupal experience. Anyway, that's all for this one. Pop over to drupalovereasy.com just to say hello or provide any comments or feedback to my tutorials, or any sort of requests or ideas I'm quite keen to sort of absorb as well. That's all for this one. Bye for now.